Hello students, let us begin on reading in relation to literature by Lafcadio Hearn. The author talks about the meaning of reading, its process and aim. And the author says it very clearly that most of the readers, they are habitual of reading mechanically, and when we read mechanically we can't express our personal opinion regarding the text we have read, because reading automatically kills the mind's ability to think, to think deeply. Now let us begin what the writer is saying. What is a great book? The test of a great book is whether we want to read it only once or more than once. Any really great book, we want to read the second time even more than we wanted to read it the first time, and every additional time that we read it, we find new meanings and new beauties in it. So, if a book is genuinely great, we will read it again and again, and every time we read, we'll find new meanings in that. A book that a person of education and good taste does not care to read more than once is very probably not worth much. And the writer is clearly saying, if there is a book and people are saying it is a great book, and if you want to read it more than once, yes, it is a great book, because this is one parameter of testing the greatness of a book, that it is read by people again and again. But we cannot consider the judgment of a single individual infallible. Now suppose a person is coming to you and saying that this book is a great, no, don't rely on the judgment of a single person. See what most of the people saying about that book. For even the greatest critics are apt to have certain dullness, certain inappreciations. You will see in history that the great critics, they also made a mistake in judging certain writers and certain great books. For example, Thomas Carlyle, for example, could not endure Browning. Byron could not endure some of the greatest of English poets. Thomas Carlyle never appreciated Robert Browning's poetry, and Lord Byron also could not appreciate poems of many great English poets. A man must be many-sided to utter a trustworthy estimate of many books. We may doubt the judgment of the single critic at times, but there is no doubt possible in regard to the judgment of generations. So let us see if there is a book already popular in our society. Try to rely on that book, that this book is a great book, because people have been appreciating the greatness of that book for generations after generations. Even if we cannot at once perceive anything good in a book which has been admired and praised for hundreds of years, we may be sure that by studying it carefully, we shall at last be able to feel the reason of this admiration and praise. Suppose we don't understand the greatness of the book in our first reading, but if we keep reading, if we keep studying the book, one day we will appreciate that why this book has been admired by generations of people. The best of all libraries for a poor man would be a library entirely composed of such great works only, books which have passed the test of time. Now the writer is suggesting that if you want to establish a library for poor people, keep the book which have gone through the test of the time, and that will be the greatest library in the world. This then would be the most important guide for us in the choice of reading. What? That select a book which have passed the test of time. Okay, that will be the most important guide. We should read only the books that we want to read more than once. Nor should we buy any others unless we have some special reason for so investing money. For example, we buy our textbooks. It's okay. Otherwise, any other book you are buying, just check whether you want to read it again and again. Otherwise, don't invest your money in buying such books. The second fact, demanding attention, is the general character of the value that lies hidden within all such great books. And there is a general value in all the great books. What is the general value? A great book is not apt to be comprehended by a young person at the first reading except in a superficial way. A young man can't understand the greatness of a book on the very first reading. Only the surface, the narrative is absorbed and enjoyed. That reader, the young reader, understands only the surface part of the story and enjoys. No young man can possibly see at first reading the qualities of a great book. Remember that it has taken humanity in many cases hundreds of years to find out all that there is in such a book. Humanity has taken hundreds of years to realize what is great in a book. But according to a man's experience of life, the text will unfold new meanings to him. The book that delights us at 18, if it be a good book, will delight us much more at 25, and it will prove like a new book to us at 30 years of age. At 40 we shall reread it, wondering why we never saw how beautiful it was before. As our age grows, we find new meaning in a great book because we have gained some experience of the life also. At 50 or 60 years of age, the same facts will repeat themselves. A great book grows exactly in proportion to the growth of the reader's mind. A great book grows in proportion of the reader's mind. As we are getting old, we find newer and newer meaning in a great book because we have gained the experience of the life also.